Hi everyone, today we're going to cover an amazing chess game from a very renowned chess player nowadays, Alireza MORPHS, in which he played a game which was highly resemblant from one of the amazing games between Kasparov and Alexei Shirov back in the day. So, without further ado, let's go. So, Alireza has the white pieces. His opponent is Milan Zarkovic, who is 450 rating points lower than him. So after Alireza played e4, he definitely didn't expect this Sicilian from him. Now f3 d6 and now knight c3 by Alireza, not the natural and more popular d4, and now a6 by black. This is a very exotic line, trying to perhaps play b5 and bishop b7 with queenside play. Anticipating that, Alireza plays g3 to put the bishop on the same diagonal. Now b5, d4 takes, bishop b7, bishop g2, knight f6, castle, some just natural development, e6 and now rook e1. So if you look at white's position, this is like the exact, like the dream position you want if you want to, execute an amazing attack. You have got 4 pieces developed, your king is out of the center, and you got a good stronghold in the center. Meanwhile, black has moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns. A 6 pawn moves has made 6 pawn moves in the opening, which is definitely not what you want to do, having developed only 2 pieces and your king standing proudly in the center, being eyed by the rook. Now, of course, we know that we shouldn't develop the knight or develop the bishop or develop the queen. We should move our knight again. Well, on a serious note, the move bishop to e7 does not work because of a very nice tactic, e5. Now, after bishop takes, the bishops are open now. Bishop takes, we're going to take the knight. This is the important move you have to play, and yeah, this simply is the reason, because now both bishops are hanging, and you're going to win a piece at the end of the line. So you cannot play this. The knight moves out of the way, so they're going to play bishop e7 safely, but now I'm going to play a4, open the position, takes bishop e7, seemingly getting rid of the castle, but now we have a very, very nice motif, rook to b4. I mean, how often do you see this idea? Like, this is very something interesting, the rook going up and over something maybe an only low-rated player would think of. Normally would say, no, the rook should just slide like that, but no. These can also happen. Now knight c5, the bishop is defended, and I mean, the thing is that the position seems like a deadlock, right? The rook is going to get kicked, you're going to castle the king, and your development lead is just going to fade. So what can we do, right? But yeah, Alireza knows what he's doing. Rook takes on b7. That was the whole idea. We wanted to take the bishop anyway. Knight takes now e5. The reason of the sacrifice. Now this bishop is like the dictator, really, the dictator of the light squares, because there is no other light squared bishop. Now, the pawn goes to e5. Zarkovic, this really tries to keep the position close, but little did he know, this plays right into Alireza's plans as he plays knight takes on d5, opening the position. Pawn takes, and now knight f5, hitting g7 and d5. This was the whole idea. Now, castles, and now bishop takes d5. We're now looking at this, but Zarkovic says, come on, yeah, you played well, you can have my knight, I will give it to you proudly, and I will continue my development and try to get, my pieces in coordination. And yeah, we just do not even take. That's a very good lesson. Do not cash in too quickly. They may be just letting in something even bigger, right? If they want to buy, if an oil company was to buy your house, negotiate for more money, I guess. Something like this. Now, b4, this is the move we play. This is a very ridiculous move, really. I mean, if the bishop takes, we're just giving up a pawn, and our rook is also hanging in the process. But the idea here is to play queen g4, hit the bishop and mate, but the idea is not even to take the bishop, because after g6 we'll play knight a6 check, king g7, bishop g5, giving our 3rd piece away, rather than taking that bishop. Queen takes, we give our 4th piece away, bishop f6 check, and after king takes, we just, boom, kiss of death. Beautiful. This is literally how the game could have ended, but of course, before the bishop goes to the b6 square, and now you may ask, why did this pawn go here? You will understand later. I mean, sometimes you want to have this bishop over here in some lines if g6 is played, but yeah, let's keep it as short as that. Now, the queen goes to g4 anyway, pawn g6, this knight is not hanging, and now we play e6, giving up our bishop. Of course, you cannot take the bishop because of the fork on e7, so the queen goes to f6. The third was also to play e7, but e7 comes in anyway. E7 comes in anyway, and now the rook goes to e8, and now the final dagger here by Alireza, bishop takes on f7. You don't take the hanging knight, you don't take the hanging knight and attack the rook, instead you take this pawn. And I mean, if you want to look at this e7 move, now the bishop if the bishop was on c5, we could have defended. That is another reason why we played b4. And now okay, bishop takes f7. There are a few ways to take it, but you're doomed anyway. You can take with your queen and lose your queen, or you can take with your king and lose your king. Similarly, and the line which the engine actually tells you to play is to play, is to literally play this move. Play king to h8, giving the rook, then play knight c6, give the knight away, and play knight d6, cutting the connection to the bishop which you could have taken, and give your rook away, and just bring back your knight to defend. This is the way the engine says you gotta play. I mean, it's still winning for white, but this is like the best thing the engine finds. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Thanks for watching this far. I hope you enjoyed the video and perhaps learned something from it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later.